This is a living archive built to resurrect ancient survival blueprints. We are not here to decorate a garden. We are here to rebuild household infrastructure, the kind that produces food and calm through bad years. Quiet independence built into land, habit, and design. Today is the story of free sweetness standing in millions of yards, not in a store aisle, in a tree. Part 1. A small yearly subscription called sugar. Many households buy sugar without noticing the pattern. A bag here, a box there, a few dozen dollars a year, sometimes more. The number feels small because it arrives in fragments, but a lifetime is made of small numbers repeated. You do not feel robbed, you feel normal. And then you learn that in much of the northern United States, a tree can produce sweetener every spring with near zero recurring cost. No tropical climate, no shipping lanes, just a few weeks of weather and the knowledge to ask. The remarkable part is repetition. A healthy, mature tree can keep producing for decades, sometimes longer than a human life. Plant one now, and you are planting an edible legacy. Part 2. What used to be ordinary long before European settlers arrived, indigenous communities in the Northeast had mastered sugaring. They tracked the seasonal shift, collected sap and boiled it down, not as luxury, but as survival. Late winter drained stores. Early spring has not yet sprouted. Sap was a bridge, calories when the pantry was thin. When colonists saw it, the shock was practical. A sweetener that required no cane fields, no tropical colonies, no ships. You walked into the woods when the weather turned, tapped a tree, and processed what you could. For generations, home sugaring was common in cold regions. It was not a hobby. It was fuel. Part 3. When sweetness became politics, industrial sugar was historically tied to brutal systems of labor and extraction. For some Americans, maple sugar became more than taste. It became an ethical alternative, a domestic path that avoided the worst parts of the global sugar trade. That vision never fully replaced industrial sugar, but for a long time, maple belonged on kitchen shelves as ordinary household supply. Then industry arrived with a different promise: cheap, uniform, year-round. Sugar won because it did not need weather. It had factories, warehouses, and logistics. Maple did not disappear overnight. It was pushed to the edge, from common skill to regional specialty. And when a skill lives at the edge long enough, people start believing it is not for them. Part 4. No ban, just fog. Nobody shows up with a dramatic law that says you cannot tap a tree. Instead, complexity grows. At first, rules target fraud like corn syrup sold as maple. The goal makes sense. But as compliance expands, the practice begins to look like something only licensed professionals should do. In many places, making syrup for your own household remains legal. But selling or trading can trigger licensing designed for large operations. Rules vary by state and locality. This is not legal advice. The point is forgetting. If a practice feels complicated, ordinary people self-select out. One generation does not do it. The next generation never sees it. Knowledge disappears without a fight. It only needs to stop being practiced at home. Part 5. The weather window is changing. Sap runs reliably when winter dormancy is followed by a consistent freeze-thaw pattern in early spring. Cold nights, warmer days. As winters warm and weather becomes less predictable, the window can shift and become less consistent. That makes the skill more urgent, not less. Part 6. What one tree is worth. A mature sugar maple can often take a single tap depending on diameter and health. Sap is mostly water, so it is typically concentrated at roughly 40 to 1 into syrup. A good tree can produce a meaningful amount of syrup each season. The real value is repetition. A few trees can replace a pattern of purchases for decades. And beyond price, you gain ownership of the source. Part 7. The truth. Tapping is simpler than the myth. You need a drill bit size for your spile, a spout, a food-grade container, and a way to boil outdoors. When nights drop below freezing and days rise above, sap begins. Drill a shallow hole with a slight upward angle. Tap the spile in, hang the bucket, walk away. The hard part is the boil. Boiling is time. Time is the real cost. Modern life trained people to treat time spent on self-production as strange, even when it produces long-term value. Part 8. The gift economy that never fully died. Homemade syrup often becomes community currency. People share it, trade it, and use it to strengthen local ties. In some places, small exchanges can fall into gray territory depending on rules. This is not advice, only observation. Humans exchange value in loops because loops make communities resilient. Part 9. How to find your trees if you live in cold regions. Sugar maples may be near you. Learn leaf shape and bark, or ask someone with experience. Start with one tree, not 5. If you do not own maples, ask neighbors, parks, or local groups. Many owners will allow tapping for a share of syrup. The knowledge still exists. It was buried under a century of industrial food defaults. Part 10. The tree never disappeared. The memory did. The trees are still standing. Every spring, sap still runs. What disappeared was cultural permission. 2 generations stopped seeing it, so they stopped imagining it. So here's the question. If sugar maples are near you, what is actually stopping you this spring? Time, uncertainty, or simply the fact that nobody told you you were allowed to try, because you are allowed to try. Sap does not need permission to run. And the system that prefers you buying every year cannot stop you from boiling sap in your own backyard.